Welcome to night class. Today we are going over your chapter 10 review, mid-review actually. That includes the distance formula, the midpoint formula, circles, and ellipses. Okay, so 4 things. We kind of skipped over really quick the distance and midpoint formulas during yesterday's homework. You have done these before. If you've forgotten it, here is the formula. This is the formula for distance. We just got finished doing vectors. And if you remember, the distance formula is basically the formula to find the magnitude in the vectors. Okay? It's the same exact process. Your midpoint formula, you just do what with the 2 points? Add them up and divide by 2. So you add the x parts divided by 2 and y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Okay? And that's it. So let's get busy. 1, 2, and 3. Find the distance and midpoint. So for the distance, we're going to have the square root of, it doesn't matter. It did matter in vectors which one you did, but in the distance formula, it does not matter because we're just talking about a segment. So I'm still going to do x2 minus x1, so that'd be 5 minus 3 squared plus 1 minus negative 2 squared. And the directions say round to 2 decimal places, so all of you people who have trouble simplifying your radical, you don't have to. You can just put everything in your calculator and round it, okay? That would be the square root of, let's see here, 2 squared is 4, plus 3 squared is 9. So 4 plus 9 is square root of 13, which is 3.61. God bless you. Everybody good? Pretty simple. Midpoint, add them up, divide by 2. So we're going to have 3 plus 5 divided by 2 and negative 2 plus 1 divided by 2. So that will be 4 and negative 0.5. Everybody good? Okay.
Did you put the last test in the computer?
I have not put it in the computer yet. I'll probably do that over the Thanksgiving break. Everybody got one? Number 2, same process, distance, square root of negative 3 minus 4 squared plus negative 5 minus negative 2 squared. And you can put it all in your calculator at once if you want to. Just make sure you put parentheses where they go correctly, okay? Put all that in, you should get, anybody do it already?
Can you zoom it in a little bit?
Zoom it in? I don't know that I can, actually. See if I can. Is that better?
Thank you.
7.62.
7.62 is correct. Okay. And my midpoint formula, again, we just add them up. 4 plus -3 divided by 2, and -2 plus -5 divided by 2. So that's going to be 1/2, 0.5. And -7/2 would be -3.5. Okay? Number 3, last one of these. So we have our distance will be 3, the 3 minus -4 squared plus 5 minus -2 squared. So this would be 3 plus 4 would be 7. 7 squared is 49.
9.9.
5 plus 2 is also 7. 7 squared again is 49. 49 and 49 make 98. And the square root of 98 is 9.9.
And we have to, we just plug it all in, just put 9.9?
Yes. Yeah, you do not have to put this part.
You don't have to show your work, please.
That's not what I'm saying at all. You need to show me that. Okay? Another thing, Matthew, when you write your midpoint formula, what do you need to put around your numbers there?
Parentheses,
Parentheses.
not the triangle.
Not the less than or greater than. Yeah. My midpoint, just add them up. Divide by 2, so -4 plus 3 divided by 2, and -2 plus 5 divided by 2. So that would be -1/2, -0.5, and 3.5, or 3/2 is 1.5. Okay? Any questions?
For the first,
All right, 4 and 5, we are finding the slope. If you have forgotten the slope formula, I'll write it over here. It's the y's minus the y's over the x's minus the x's. Now, I don't care what you write on the test.
was this?
No, you need to memorize these. Okay?
Can we put S equals?
Because when you take the ACT and it asks for the slope, they're not going to have that little slope formula for you on it. Okay? Same thing with distance, same thing with midpoint. They're going to expect you to know those. I pretty much only make you memorize the ones you need for the ACT. Everything else I usually give to you.
What if we're done with ACT?
You don't know that.
I'm
You don't know that.
I'm
You don't know that. They might have been a computer glitch, and everybody that just took it is going to have to take it again. You never know.
Please don't say such things.
I'm just saying, it's 2020. Be prepared. All right. So my slope, my y's minus my y's, so -1 minus, I messed up, sorry. -1 minus a -3 divided by 7 minus a -8. That will be +2 over 15. That's all there is to it.
Wow.
I know, right?
I believe it. That seems horrific.
I'll go ahead and do 5 while we're rocking and rolling. 5 is going to be -7 minus -4 divided by -6 minus 7. So that would be positive and positive. It's going to be -3 over -13, which is positive 3 over 13. Don't forget to get rid of your negatives if there's 2 of them, okay? All right, 6, 7, and 8. We are writing the equation in standard form for the circle, okay? So I know it's a circle because the directions tell me it is. So we have to remember the standard form of the equation for a circle. That's x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. 6, 7, 8, you're putting all of them in that form. Everybody good? Okay. The center is your what and what? H and K. So this is H, this is K, and your radius is R. And all it is plugging in. So there's not much work to show here. Matt, you're going to be happy. Okay? All you have to do is remember, if it's a positive 3 for H, what are you going to put in the parentheses? Negative 3. Okay, x minus 3, don't forget the squared. Plus, if it's a negative 2 for K, what goes in the parentheses? Positive 2 equals, and then 5 square root of 6, what? Squared. 5 square root of 6 squared. That would be how you need to put it in your calculator for it to give you the right answer. It should be 25 times 6, which is 150. And that is all. Okay? So for 7, same process. We're going to have x minus 6 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals 6 square root of 2 squared. That's 36 times 2. What is 36 times 2? 72. Okay? And last but not least, we'll have x minus 5 squared plus y plus 4 squared equals 3 square root of 5 squared is 9 times 5, which is 45. Alright, 9, 10, and 11. We are sketching the graph of these. So you're going to need some graph paper. Alright, I don't have room to graph them on here, so I'm going to switch to this, and we're going to do these on here, okay? So, first off, number 9.
X squared.
What are these? Oh, you're reading it to me. Thank you. Would you mind doing that? X squared
Plus y squared. Plus 4x minus 4y plus 4.
Alright, so they do not tell me what it is, but I do know it's a circle. I know that because the coefficients in front of x squared and y squared are the same, okay? And since they're 1, I can just complete the square right off the bat, okay? So I'm going to get my x's together, x squared plus 4x, and I'm going to add my little blank, and I'm going to get my y's together, okay? Add my little blank, and what do I do with the negative 4? Where does it go? Other side. Move it over, so it's going to become negative 4 on the other side of the equation. And add 2 blanks. Because if you add 2 on the left, you got to add 2 on the right. All right? 2-step process to complete the square. You take b, which is 4. And what do I do to it? Divide it by 2. That's 2. And then what do I do to 2? 2 squared is 4. So I add 4 there. And I add 4 there. Okay? I do the exact same thing for the y, only this time it's what? Negative 4. So I'm going to get a negative 2 this time, but negative 2 squared is still what? It's still 4. Don't ever add a negative to your blanks. Okay? It should always be positive because what you're doing to get them is squaring something, and no matter if it's negative or positive, it should always become positive. Everybody got me? Okay? And then we factor, so we're going to have x plus 2 squared. You can do that by figuring out two numbers that multiply to be 4 and add up to 4, or you can just say, hey, we got 2 when we divided 4 by 2 up here, so that's what goes in the parentheses, okay?
And then the x is x minus 2, right?
Y minus 2, yes. Plus y minus 2 squared equals, and then on the right, these 4's cancel, and I'm left with what? 4. Now I can graph. Okay? So I'm just going to do it freehand. You will have graph paper to do it on.
Which is also free-handed.
True.
Oh, Coach Bo didn't even know your trivia question.
I knew you would.
He said, oh, I didn't even think of that. He was a heck of a ball player.
He's so nice. My center is -2, +2, and my radius is, you're actually going the other way, 2. It is the square root of 4, okay? It's because now I already have r squared, okay? 4 is r squared. You got me? I need r. And from there, you just graph it. So we got left 2, up 2 is my center. And then how far do I go? Up, down, left, and right? 2. So I'll be down here, over here, up here, and over there. And you draw your best little circle you can. If he wasn't so deformed, he would look cute. My center is not really in the center. Sorry. The center throws it off. Here, I'm going to make the center bigger. There we go.
Oh, give it some eyes.
Ma'am?
Give it some eyes. That looks like a nose now.
I can't give it any eyes
Why?
because it doesn't have eyes. It's a no eye circle. Everybody good? All right.
Okay, then.
Moving on. Number 10. Carly, you mind reading that to me again? It's x squared
Plus y squared plus 10x minus 6y plus 25.
plus 25?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, same process again. I'm not trying to trick you. We're going to have x squared plus 10x plus my blank. And then my y squared minus 6y plus my blank equals, what do I do with the 25? Move it over, it becomes -25. And I'm going to add the same numbers I had on the left to the right as well. Okay? So I take my 10 right here, divide it by 2. That's 5. 5 squared is 25. So 25 goes there and there. Same thing with the -6. Divide it by 2, you get -3. -3 squared is 9. That goes there and there.
Please write these rules on the board in case it's missed.
No. Good try though.
So it's x plus 5,
So it's going to be x plus 5,
y minus 3.
y minus 3.
Damn, son. She's really not 100 times smarter than me. She's more competitive and she tries harder.
It's 5.
If I studied this much,
And that makes me smarter.
Alright, what's my center?
yeah, but nowadays your ACT batters.
5, -3 is my center. And my radius? 3. Square root of 9, which is 3. And you graph it. Okay? Can I pull it up a little bit? Hope so.
But I thought we had to flip the signs for the center. I just told her I had to do that.
We do have to flip the signs. I'm sorry. I was just writing down what they were saying. So that should be what?
Negative.
-5 and +3. Sorry about that.
Einstein long over here didn't even notice.
I'm already done.
Get out of your way, then.
You might want to hold on to her, Matthew.
Yeah.
She's making it tough.
He didn't hold on to her so she don't float away.
All right. -5, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 3, about right there.
Bad job.
Okay.
Darn.
What is my radius? 3. So I go up, down, left, and right. 3. Man,
Oh, he's doing it. We should have filmed you.
should have.
Is it a third knot?
Ma'am?
Nothing.
Everybody come from me. I don't know anymore of it.
Can you go down low? All the way to the floor?
No, then you gotta go to the top.
Yeah, I know. Will it ever stop? Again, my circle is not the greatest. Yours should look better than mine because you got the graph paper. If it doesn't, well,
It's a great circle.
the circle ain't so bad. It's the center that's killing me. Yeah, well, but then it's not in the right spot. I know the center's right. See what I'm saying? It's just the other ones. Well, what happened was I get a little lengthy on my. See how that one's a little longer? This right here is longer than when I was starting, so that throws the dimensions off a little. All right, everybody good on 10? No? Yes? No? Yes? Okay. 11.
X squared
X squared.
plus y squared.
All right.
8x.
Plus 8x.
Yes.
Plus 8x.
Minus 10y plus 16.
All right. So, get my x's together. Get my y's together. Equals -16 plus x plus whatever the other one is. All right. Same process here. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 4 squared. 16 goes there and there. -10 divided by 2 is -5. -5 squared is 25. So we have x plus 4 squared plus y minus 5 squared equals 25. Okay? And now we can graph it. So what's my center going to be? -4, +5. And my radius? 5. Square root of 25 is 5. Yeah, it's kind of bigger than we've been being. I'm going to throw some graph paper up here so mine doesn't look... I'm tired of it looking really bad because it's been looking really bad. It looked bad. I appreciate, Nate, you like trying to, build my confidence, but it did look kind of bad.
I mean, you haven't seen mine.
It's okay, Jess. I know you've been on a 3-year drought.
There's always someone worse than you, and there's some better than you. You're gonna be happy with who you are. Yes.
That's wise words, Nate.
You know what? So do you think you're the best, and you are the best that you know.
You know what else is wise words? All you can do
That's all you can do.
is all you can do,
That's all you can do.
and that's all you can do. Shout out to Josh Bishop. All right. My center is -4, 5. And I'm going to go up, down, left, and right. How far? 5. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Way up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
You mean
Whew.
a perfect circle.
Not, it's my best.
You're free. And
It's my best. That's all I could do.
Yeah, and that's all
Okay?
you can do.
Yeah, that's all I could do, so that's all I could do. Luke's looks better.
Well, that's, well,
He
his
said
is
it.
His is the best that he knows.
Right.
I have a
Yours is the
question.
best that you know.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
12. Go back to our sheet here. Number 12. It says, write the equation in standard form of the ellipse with the foci 3, 0, and -3, 0 if the minor axis has y-intercepts of 2 and -2. Okay. So, I'm going to put kind of what we know up here. First off, we're dealing with an ellipse, okay? And so we need 3 things to write the equation of an ellipse. Really just, well, 3. We need the center, okay? We need the A and the B. Everybody got me? All right, so what does the foci give us? What do we use to find the foci? What letter? Not A. Not B?
C.
C. We use C. Okay? It says the minor axis is the shorter of the two, right? It has y-intercepts of 2 and -2. Okay? So can somebody tell me where is my center going to be in all of this? It's the midpoint of what? The foci. Okay? Your center is always the midpoint of your foci. You could even use the y-intercepts if you wanted to. Okay? What's the middle of 2 and -2? 0. Okay? So my center is 0, 0. Everybody with me so far? Okay. I know C equals what?
0, 0.
Nope, that's my center. I'm not talking about my center. That's my center. Okay, here, I'll center. Okay. What is C though? What's the letter C? It's just one number. 3.
Oh, because 3 minus 0.
Okay? Remember, we add and subtract C to the center to get the foci. Okay? That's how you get your focus points. Is by adding and subtracting C to the center. All right? So I know C is 3. This word right there.
You mean north?
That's very important. Okay? If the minor axis has y-intercepts of 2 and -2, how far is this away from the center? 2. Which letter is that for the minor axis?
B.
That is B.
Bless you.
So B equals what?
You move foci.
2. And finally, we just need A. Okay? We can use B and C to get A. So if you remember the formula for your C, it's like the Pythagorean theorem, but we're not adding them, we're what? Subtracting them. So C squared equals A squared minus B squared.
Okay, so B
Okay.
squared plus C squared would equal A squared.
Correct. Okay, so I know right now B squared is what? B squared is 4.
And then C squared
Okay.
is 9. So it's
And
12.
so A squared is just going to, like you just said, move the B squared over, right? Okay, so it's C squared plus B squared. Well, C squared is 9.
So it's
So we're going to have 9 plus 4. What is A squared? 13. Now we have everything we need to write the equation. We have B squared. We have A squared. Put it equals a squared there. And we have our center. Okay? So I'm going to write the answer down here since I don't have much room. So 12. It's going to be x squared. It's usually x minus something or x plus something, but since the something is 0, you just put x squared over something plus y squared over something. What's an ellipse always equal to? It's always equal to 1. Okay? So now we know a squared and b squared. We just got to figure out where do they go. Okay? It said the minor axis has what intercepts? Y intercepts. So where do you think the b should go? Underneath the y. So that's going to be my 4, which means my a squared, which is 13, goes under
So it's not always
bx.
like that?
I'm sorry?
But it's not always like that? The B?
The b is not always under the y. No. Okay? Remember, you don't really know which one's which. It's just the bigger number's a squared. So they're telling you since the minor axis had y-intercepts that the b goes under that part. Okay? If it had said major axis, then they would have been talking about the a, and it would have been under the y. Okay? Everybody good? Piece of cake? That's all we had to do is write the equation, right? Okay, I was just making sure. Yep. How you got C? Okay, I was about to say 13 is the same way. Again, my center is just the midpoint of those 2 points, which again is what? 0, 0. And now Emily, to find the focus points, we use the C. Okay? And the C, what did we add and subtract to the center to get the focus points? 3 and negative 3. So that means C is what? 3. That's how we're getting C. Okay? C is 3. Same process. Same exact process. Basically, they just have different numbers. Minor axis, y-intercepts of what? 3 and negative 3. So what letter does that tell me? B. Because again, it says minor axis. If it said major, it would be A. You got me? So this is B. B also equals 3 this time. And again, to get our A, I'm not going to rewrite all this. I know A squared equals B squared plus C squared. So A squared is going to be B squared is what? 3 squared is what? 9. Plus C squared is 9 as well. A squared is 18. And so now we have A squared. We have B squared is 9. And we have our center.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Can you tell me where you get the C and B from again? I'm struggling.
Yes. Let me finish writing it real quick. All right, so that's going to be x squared over 18 plus y squared over 9 equals 1. That's the answers. Okay? All right, one more time. You use C to find the focus points. Okay? So if my center is 0, 0, and my focus points are 3, 0, and negative 3, 0, what did I add and subtract to the center to get the focus points? 3. That's my C. C is what you use to get the focus points. Okay? Maybe it'll help if I draw one. Here. Ellipse. There's the center. Here's your focus points. Okay? This distance is C. Okay? Here's the minor axis. Right here. Okay? That's your B. And then your major axis is the whole thing over here. That's your A. Okay? So understand, A is the entire thing here. Okay? C is just to the focus point. So whenever you find, they give us the focus points, the center is always the midpoint of them. Okay? And then it tells me, hey, I have the minor axis has y-intercepts here and here, well, that's telling me that's B. You got me? Okay? And then you use B and C to get A. All right? Okay. One more like this, right? 14. What's my C going to be? 2. Okay. What's my center? 0, 0. Sorry, I made it easy for y'all. They're all 0, 0. And what's my B? 4. So, the pattern is A squared equals B squared plus C squared, or C squared plus B squared, however you want to think about it. So that would be 2 squared is 4, plus 4 squared is 16, so A squared is going to be 20. And then we just write it again, so we're going to have x squared over 20 is the bigger one. And again, it said y-intercepts. Shouldn't have made them all the same. Sorry, didn't mean to make them all, no. You're either going to get all these right or all of them wrong, one or the other. So 20 goes under the x plus y squared over b squared is what? B is 4. What's b squared? 16. Remember, you put b squared under there, and it's always equal to 1. Okay? Correct. A squared is always the bigger of the two numbers that's on the bottom. Ma'am? Correct. Yes. Yes. If it says, yeah, that's a good way. If there's something wrong, you either did it wrong or there's something's wrong with the problem. If they say minor axis and y-intercepts, and that ends up being a bigger number than your A, then something is wrong. Okay? It shouldn't be that way. Everybody good? The last 4, 15, 16, 17, 18, you're graphing the ellipse, okay? And then you're naming the center, the vertices, and the foci. All right? That's all you're doing. So we got through one of these yesterday, so let us do a little more. Where did go back to Carly? You mind reading them to me? Because I need to be able to use my graph paper again. So we're going.
X squared.
What is this? 15? 15. X squared over
36.
36.
Plus y squared over 16.
16. Equals 1. Correct?
Correct.
All right. So let me get my graph paper up here. Because again, it's a good idea to kind of do this at the same time. All right. What is my center? 0, 0. Okay, that's one of the things you have to find. 0, 0. Okay, little hint, they're all going to be 0, 0. But, all right, that's a bad job making a test.
That's a great job making.
Well, I'm glad you think so. So we're going to draw our coordinate plane, and we are going to label the center, what? 0, 0. And then now we use our a squared and our b squared. It really doesn't matter which one's which in this instance, okay? Because if it's under the x, that's telling me how far to go, which direction? Left and right. If it's under the y, it's telling me how far to go up and down. So, square root of 36 is 6. So right and left, I go 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Up and down, I go how far? 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? And then you draw your ellipse. Okay? Now, you're done as far as the graphing part. Now you just have to label all that stuff they wanted you to label. So you already got the center, all right? They also wanted the vertices. You just found the vertices. How many of them are there?
4.
There are 4. And basically you're just naming these points. So what point is that? 6, 0. And what point is this one over here? Negative 6, 0. And what about the one on top? 0, 4. And the one on the bottom is 0, negative 4. Okay? The foci. What do I need to find the foci? C. C? C, senor. Okay? I need C. So, to get C, I know C squared is A squared minus B squared. So C is going to be the square root of A squared minus B squared. All you really have to remember is subtract the bigger number minus the smaller number. Okay? 36 minus what?
16.
Which is square root of 20. Okay? Sorry, you do need to simplify that. So what will that simplify to? It'd be 2 and 10, right? And then 2 and 5. So 2 square root of what? 5. I'm going to add and subtract that to which part of my center? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Okay? Where is the A? It's under the X. That's what you add and subtract that to. Okay? So it's 0 plus or minus 2 square root of 5, comma 0. So it's just going to be plus or minus 2 square root of 5, comma 0. That is where your foci are. Okay? If you did 2 square root of 5, that's like 4 point something. So you don't have to draw the foci, but I'm just doing it so you kind of understand where it is. It's like 2 point, what is it? 4 point something. What is it? 4.5? 4.57. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, a little bit past it. So there's one foci, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's the other. Okay. Remember, Caden got up here yesterday, and we drew it. Okay. Those were the foci.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you don't have to draw them. You just got to tell me what they are. Okay. And again, the way you know whether to add and subtract your C is where you always add it to the A part. So if the A is bigger under the X, you add it to the X part of the center. If it's bigger on the Y side, you add it to the Y part of the center. Okay? Everybody good? Let's do it again.
Coach, can I get this from going down and run to the bathroom?
Sure, bud.
You get what? I'll get this next problem from you.
When you gotta go. You know? 16, x squared over 9 plus y squared over
16.
equals 1. All right. So what's my center? Center. Okay.
Yeah, just go to the bathroom and be like, I'll do it, dude.
Don't you dare! Don't you chance me! All right. 0, 0. How far do I go left and right? 3.
4.
How far do I go up and down? 4. This will look close to being a what? It's going to be close to looking like a circle because I didn't go very far difference. Okay, I went 3 one direction, 4 in the other. Okay?
Teachers, lock your door.
All right, so we have our center at 0, 0. We look at this number, the 9, to tell us how far to go left and right. So we went 3 left, 3 right. Look at this number to tell us how far to go up and down. So we go square root of 16 is 4, up 4, down 4. And then you just draw your ellipse as best you can. Okay? And now I'm going to label my vertices. And again, it's just a matter of naming your points. So what is this point right here?
0, 3.
Try again.
0, 3, 0.
3, 0. And what is this point right here?
Negative 3, 0.
Negative 3, 0. And this point up here, 0, 4. And this point down here is 0, negative 4. Okay? And your foci, you need what to find the foci? Which letter? C again. Okay, so C squared is A squared minus B squared. That's the little formula I need to remember. So to get C, we're going to take the square root of A squared minus B squared. So to you, it doesn't really matter what's what. It's just the big number minus the small number. 16 minus 9 is square root of 7. Now, I add and subtract the square root of 7 to one part of the center. The other part of the center stays like it is. So the way you know which part has the A under it. Okay? The Y has the A squared under it, so I add and subtract to the Y part of my center. So that's going to be 0. I don't mess with the X, but I do say 0 plus or minus the square root of 7, which reduce that, it's just 0 and plus or minus square root of 7. Okay? That would be your foci. And again, you don't have to graph the foci, you just have to tell me where it is. You got me? The vertices, I just went up, I went left and right 3, up and down 4, and I literally just named the points. Okay? But again, like your foci square root of 7, that's like 2 point something. So I go up 1, 2, and a little bit, down 1, 2, and a little bit. There would be your foci. But again, you don't have to graph those. You just got to tell me where they are. Okay?
You want us to graph these for review or not?
Yes.
How do you find the center?
The center, it's usually x minus h squared up here and y minus k squared up there. And your center is h and k. And since there's nothing with the x and the y, it's just 0, 0. Okay? And I believe on the test it's just like the review. So on the review they're all 0, 0. So but that's not an always thing. I should have gave you some with different center than 0, 0, but I didn't. Yes, ma'am.
And isn't it usually opposite from what's in the parentheses?
It's always opposite from what's in the parentheses. Yes.
That's my score.
It's going to be positive 4. Right. Everybody good on 16?
1 second.
All right. Hit pause again. All right, 17. Would somebody read me the question, please?
It's x squared over 25 plus y squared over 49.
All right.
Maybe you can't tell it. That's your favorite to tell it.
Make our XY plane. So, like I've been telling you, I always start with the center. What is the center? Again, 0, 0. Okay. So it's the origin. I look at this number to know where do I go left and right. How far? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I look at this number to know how far I go up and down. So I'm going to go how far? 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right. It's a rather large parabola. Okay. And now you just come back over here, label your vertices. What are the vertices? What's this point? 5, 0. What is this point? Negative 5, 0. What's this point up at the top? 0, 7. And the point at the bottom is 0, negative 7. Your foci. C is the square root of what?
49.
49 minus 25,
which is square root of 24.
which is the square root of 24, which I can reduce that to 2 and 12 and 2 and 6. So it'll be 2 square root of 6. Add and subtract that to which part of the vertex? The x part or the y part? The y part. So it'll just be 0 and then 0 plus or minus 2 square root of 6.
Do we have to show the simplifying of that?
No, you can leave it like that if you want to.
So just do 0, 2.
Plus or minus. Yeah, you just, I'll take it either way.
I'm so fast in this water.
You do need to simplify your square roots though.
Okay, I was just making sure
Yeah.
because I just skipped.
You can write that, or you can just write 0, 2 plus or minus 2 squared root of 6.
See, I didn't know if
Okay.
you wanted us to put
I'll take
that and then simplify.
I'll take either one. It'll be. What'd you have, Clay?
Could you do like a quick example for simplifying square root? I'm messing up a lot.
Yeah, just right here. You do your little factor tree. So 24 would be 2 times 12, and then that reduces to 2 and 6, and then that reduces to 2 and 3. Whatever you have a pair of, you bring out front. So I have a pair of 2s. Shh, that's where the 2 comes from. And then I have a 2 and a 3 left. 2 times 3 is 6. So that stays under the radical.
So it doesn't matter how many numbers you add, it's just whatever number you pair.
Yes. All right. Yes, ma'am.
So basically, for the first time, you always take like the square over and subtract the smaller
So
number.
if you add 4 to
Under, just put it doesn't matter which one, just the bigger number.
The bigger number is always your a squared anyway.
Okay. So then you'll subtract it.
Yes.
And then you simplify it, and then,
Haley.
and then you simplify it, and then you write. What's the first part again?
C, whatever you got.
Let's see.
It's the plus or minus the C to whichever part of the center has the bigger number under it. So 49 is bigger than
So
25?
you write your x from your center. and
Right.
then you
The
copy
other part doesn't change from the center. You only change the part of the center that has the bigger number.
So you change the y.
Correct, for this
So it's
particular one.
0 plus 1.
Yes. All right. Last one. Yes.
Whenever we are drawing them, if we decide to do it by like 3s or 2s, do we
Just
do
make
it
sure you
by-
label it.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey, Coach, I didn't know. Did you explain
Without
whether to do
breakers.
0 plus or minus?
Are we doing break?
Not a 0?
I'll take either one.
Okay, either one.
If you do 0 plus or minus, that's fine. Or you can just put the plus or minus because it's 0. If it was anything besides 0, though, it wouldn't work. Okay? Will somebody read 18 to me? X squared, 81,
Y squared, 36.
36 equals 1. So my center
0, 0.
is 0, 0 one more time. My vertices,
0.
I'm going to have to, it's going to be really big. I mean,
It's going to be 9 by.
it's going to be wide, isn't it?
It's more wide.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's thinking.
Who was it?
There we
You
go.
simplify square root of 45. Oh,
Oh, no, and I think you misunderstand the direction that I am in.
All right. So 0, 0 is my center. How far do I go left and right? 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. How far do I go up and down? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Someone asked, do you have to count by ones? You do not, but if you do count by something other than 1, make sure you label it so I can see what you counted by.
How do you want us to label it, Coach?
You write 2.
Like you could do, look, like you went by 3s, you do 3, 6. You just tell me, make sure I know what you count by if you're going to skip some, okay? All right, so what are my vertices?
9, 0.
9, 0,
Negative 9, 0.
9, 0, negative 9, 0,
0, 6.
0, 6, 0, negative 6,
said 0.
And for my foci, last thing, let's see here. C is going to be the square root of 81 minus 36.
Square root of 45.
45. All right, Clayton, so here we go. 45 would be 5 and 9 and 3 and 3. Got a pair of 3s, so it would be 3 square root of 5. All right, and I add and subtract that to which part of the center this time?
X.
The x part. So 0 plus or minus 3 square root of 5 and then comma 0. And there you got it. That's all of it. Okay? Stay above the line and we'll see you next time out there in internet land.